Sean Lennon here with Pro Wrestling Enforcer podcast, guys. We were talking to Jeremy Fine, Rabbi Jeremy Fine of Second Wrestling. They've been making some waves in the Chicago independent wrestling, and so make sure to check them out. They have a new event coming up. It's called Walk This Way, featuring the top independent wrestlers, including the second champion Billy Starks, Chelsea Green, Warhorse, Cole Radrick, WWE legend Gangrel, and many more. And make sure to be at Kings and Convicts Brewery Thursday, July 21st in Highwood, Illinois. And the action is on a Thursday night, but we know it's going to be an exciting show, so make sure to check it out. And we appreciate you, Rabbi Jeremy Fine, for being on PWE. And, talk about how did you come up with the idea of the concept of second wrestling, and a little bit about your background as well.
Sure. I've been a wrestling fan pretty much my whole life. Stopped for a little bit, got back to it in high school a little bit, but really sort of did it on my own. Long and short of it, a few years ago, probably like 6-7 years ago, my wife took me to an AAW show. I grew up not far from Colt Cabana, so we were friendly, and I wanted to see him. I'd never seen him wrestle. And just loved it. Loved sort of this independent wrestling show, which I read about but never really gone to. And then I was in Minnesota as a rabbi, and I was telling some congregants about it, and they said we should do wrestling in the synagogue. And I said, that's crazy. And then they said, no, we really should. And I said, okay, let's try it. And eventually we landed doing a show with Eric Cannon at First Wrestling. And we did 3 shows together. And then we did 6 COVID shows, which were sort of very minimally attended, but very safe and separated. So we did 9 in total. And then I was leaving Minnesota, and I said to Mr. Cannon, I said to Mr. Cabana, this is my idea. And they said, run with it. And so I believe I'm the first one to bring wrestling to this area of Chicago, the suburbs. I believe this is the first show in Highwood, and if it's not, it's been a while. The name Second is an ode to the second city of Chicago. Mm-hmm. So like our belt has, there's the stars and things like that. And then it's also an ode to First Wrestling, as the first is a 1, the I in first is a 1, and so our S is a 2. Second Wrestling. So that's where the name comes from. We're mostly family friendly. We've done 2 camp shows, like at summer camps, and 2 regular shows. They were all been for young kids and families. This is our first 21 plus show. It's a little outside of our box. What does that mean? It means that we have Cole Radrick on the show. It means that we have, we'll have some other, it's at a brewery. We have some people, from the GCW world a little bit. So, I don't think you'll ever see a death match. Never say never, but I don't think you'll ever see a death match by us. It just means that it will be a little bit less for the kids. There may be some swear words thrown in there and things like that, which We're fine with on this show. So, our goal is not to do too many shows a year. The goal is really 3. We're doing at least 6, may end up doing 8, which is not the goal. The goal is really to do these high quality shows, mostly for young families, but they will span for everyone. We've had the first 2 shows had Dak Draper on it. We had an autograph signing with Coco Beware. We had Cole Cabana on it. We had Matt Raywall. We have the talent that I think people want to see. The besties in the world were there. We just Kid Bandit was on our last show, but we cater towards the kids. There's coloring. There's all sorts of stuff they can win a chance to ring the bell for a match. There's things that we do specifically a nod to sort of our younger fans.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a happy medium, right? That you're going to serve 2 different audiences and get the chance to, get the fans to come out. I mean, professional wrestling is huge in Chicago. We have so many different promotions. They're all running at the same time. How do you feel like you identify yourself and stick out? Yeah,
I think that's really what we do. Young families, we have great promotions in the city, Zello and Freelance, they're running, but mostly Friday nights, Saturday nights, little kids are, no, I'm not saying they can't go, but sometimes they're not going to go. Ours are usually on Sunday afternoons, early afternoons, so like the kids can come. That's when we find our best time slot is. This is a little different. So our shows would usually run Thursday nights or Sunday, so it's a different time of the week. And then we're using some talent that others don't. While we've used, Blair Onyx has been a mainstay for us. We've had Lainey Luck on a few of our shows. Pick and Pop will be around. Matt Nix. We're also looking for talent that either others haven't fully tapped into and aren't, maybe don't have as high of a spot up on their shows, or ones that don't really get a chance so much in Chicago. There's other places outside of, we'll call it the Chicagoland area that maybe they wrestle, but we are. And I would say to talent, like, we watch everyone's matches. We don't book everyone. And every show so far, we have given at least one person a chance who reached out to us. That I don't think that necessarily makes us completely unique. I'm sure other promoters do that, but again, we've watched every match, not every match, but at least one match from everyone who sent it in. And we are always looking for one person. So like an example of that is Jackson Larkin, who will be on this show, doesn't have necessarily permanent, spots in all these places. Not to say that he doesn't deserve them. They just have a lot of talent, and talent's been working with them for a long time. So we're sort of new and can give Jackson sort of maybe a little more exposure. So it will be his first chance for us this week, and we'll see what he's got.
Yeah, definitely. And you have Billy Starks as the second champion, and so she's very special. Of course, she's been kicking ass. Going to high school. And, it's been crazy to see how she's come so far in such a short time. And still many years to go in her career. Hopefully,
she's incredible talent. When we're really proud of her. She defended our title Mania week in Dallas. She won a tournament. She beat Blair Onyx, Riley Jackson, and Eric Cannon to win that title. And this will be her first defense at a second wrestling show. And we want to make sure that title has prestige, that it means something. And so we went out and tried to find the best talent we could book against her that made sense and that people want to see, but also that Billy's maybe never wrestled before. So this is the first time ever Chelsea Green and Billy Starks have shared a ring, and it will be for our title. And one day when Billy's wrestling for whatever promotion she's wrestling, and someone's like, did Billy ever wrestle Chelsea Green? They're like, oh yeah, she ran for a title actually, so we're excited about that. And whoever our champion is, we're not afraid to put it on other promotions. We welcome sort of that, as long as the match makes sense for Billy and makes sense for us. We want her to be a fighting champion.
Yeah, definitely. And then you've got so many great, wrestlers, Eric Kenyon, who's been in a staple of Chicago wrestling for a while. Obviously he's in charge of First Wrestling. He is one of those guys I feel like just comes out there and just gives it all, every time we see him.
Yeah, Cannon is he's one of a kind. He's a veteran, but works with everyone. People love working with him and for him. First Wrestling, if you ever get a chance to go to a WrestlePalooza in Minnesota, probably the best wrestling show I've ever been to. And that includes AEW and WWE, anywhere in between. I mean, if you want to talk about like chills down your spine and crazy crowds and top-notch wrestling, and then, the bane of my existence, Darren Corbin, will be there, always causing trouble at Second Wrestling and pretty much everywhere he goes, I think, at this point. So, Darren will be there. We have Cole Radrick's coming. He'll be there for the first time. And so we always try to give a mix of like our regulars, people who reappear will come back a lot, if not become regulars, and then a splash of, not only new wrestlers, but wrestlers that not everyone sees all the time. So we're bringing up a bunch of people from Texas who have not really wrestled. Many of them are making their debut in Chicago. One is who wrestled on our first show, Corey O'Neill. He's an example of someone who doesn't have a lot of spotlight on him in Chicago or in the Midwest. And if we can help him expand his territory and his brand, we're excited to do so. David Ali is coming, and Heather Monroe. So there's some Chicago people as well that we're very, very excited to have on the show.
Yeah, you have a nice fatal four-way match for the women. That should be exciting as well. Can't wait, because Heather Monroe, she's taking on 3 other wrestlers from Texas, I believe. I think it was Camacho.
Yeah. Amy Camacho is 18 years old. This is, I think, her first. I don't know if this is for sure true, but I believe it's her first time wrestling outside of Texas.
Oh, wow.
Killa Kate, who's on Women of Wrestling, she's phenomenal. She's a top independent talent. She's wrestled for Terminus, AEW Dark, and then Alejandra De Lion is also great. We actually saw her when we were down at Mania Week, and that's when we decided to start booking some of these wrestlers. Again, the Chicago scene is amazing and has some great talent, and we will book these talents but we just don't want to book all of them at once, because that's what you see at a lot of the other shows, and we want to just be a little bit different. We know that we will always want to have some of these backbone Chicago people, because they need places to work, and we want to provide them, and they're great talent. But how do we give them a match that they haven't had before? We've been really lucky. We've had Joey Jet Avalon and Sierra come down from Wisconsin on 2 of our shows. We had Country Air, who's made a little bit of noise in Chicago recently. They're from Wisconsin too. We had them on one of our camp shows. So we've gotten to work with some of the top names that we believe in the area, and we're still searching for more. And we still will book more. We've only really had 3 shows. This will be the 3rd. And so there's guys and girls that we really want to book, just don't have, we're not going to run 14 match show. So like Jaden Newman out of Tennessee, we're big fans of Jaden. We worked with him in Minnesota. There just hasn't been the right spot for him. We just haven't been able to pull it off. There's others like that who, Gary J is another one who we'd love to have on the show. We just haven't had the right opportunity spot to put him in. Not every match is going to be a fatal 4-way. Not every match is going to be there's only a limited amount of spots, and you got to have people who are your regulars, who are new, and who are names who, like a Chelsea Green and First Billy Starks. That's a matchup everyone wants to see, and we have to book those as well so that we can, fill the card.
And for sure, and at that point, this is going to be for the 2nd championship. It's not a women's championship. This is for the.
Yeah, we have one belt. We will. I believe you'll see another belt soon, but neither will be just for men or just for women. It's not to say that we will never change that. It's hard to have intergender wrestling. We don't have any intergender matches right on this card. And it's hard to book intergender wrestling on family shows. There are some people who don't like that for their kids. But we made a conscious decision that, we want this belt to be on the person who, the people who have a chance at this belt. We want those people to represent us, and that it doesn't. Gender does not matter. Sexual orientation doesn't matter for these things. It's, do you represent what we represent, which is really, for the most part, a very family-friendly, almost kid-like at times wrestling show. And that's what we have to stay true to. And it doesn't mean we won't expand. It doesn't mean our minds can't be changed. It doesn't mean if there's a wrestler out there who has asked for a shot, and we thought like maybe their persona wasn't exactly fit our brand. You know, maybe that changes for a different show or down the line. But right now, that's our market is young families looking to take their kids to think differently, to imagination differently, and there's no one who exemplifies that better right now in the world than Billy Starks.
Yes. And yeah, we're excited for this show. Can you tell us some other matches that you think fans will go crazy for?
Yeah, I think the other match that we've only announced 3 matches. I think the other match that people are going to be really excited about is Cole Radrick versus Dan the Dad. Really contrast of styles. You know, there's you know, they're just, I don't know that they've been in the ring. I actually haven't asked either of them if they've wrestled before, just one-on-one. So I do not know, actually.
Yeah.
I just think that the people want to see this match. I think that both of them could end up, you know, spending other shows with us. They're both top talents, and they're in the Midwest, which is, you know, really a key thing for us. So we're really we're excited about that match as well. And we haven't said we won't announce the other ones. You know, we like there to be some intrigue for the fans who are going to the show, to allow them to you know, have a chance to like not know who's behind the curtain.
Yes, for sure. And Warhorse is part of the show, and how excited to see Warhorse on this card.
Yeah, I mean, Warhorse was on our first show. He actually, the opening match of Second Wrestling, which in some ways may have been the best match we've ever had, is Warhorse versus Eric Cannon. It was the opening match of our tournament. It was the opening match of any of our shows. I was like biting my nails, so nervous, and they tore it up. I mean, and you know, they're both always welcome back. Okay? We had a great experience with them. You know, Eric Cannon and Darren Corbin, even if I'm not thrilled about it, you know, our you know, and others, Super Atomic, Thunder Frog. I mean, some of these guys will be mainstays, but you'll see them often. Riley Jackson's another one who we've had on 2 of our shows. You know, we're going to pull from Minnesota. Those are my guys. Those are who I learned wrestling from. You know, Clark Feldman is, if we have a lead referee, you know, it's Clark Feldman. He's from Minnesota, and Derek Martha comes also. We have, I think, an incredible refereeing crew. John Manning and Val Capone usually we switch off the MCs. So we'll have both of them. So, you know, we're invested in making our brand different. Eric Cannon, for example, you know, doesn't do too many shows in Chicago these days, and so we're excited to have him a part of our crew and Second Wrestling.
Definitely. And then talk about, you know, where you want to take Second Wrestling from here. Do you want to take it to different cities, different venues? I mean, would you like to go in the city itself of Chicago?
It's a great question. We're going to Minnesota right after this, and we're co-promoting a show with First Wrestling in Rosemont, Minnesota. So people, if you're listening from Minnesota, that show's coming in the night after AEW Dynamite is there. So we'll be in Rosemont, Minnesota. We don't have any shows announced yet. We are likely going to have a show in December and potentially October. Again, the goal is not to have a show every month. I can't pull that off with my schedule. Also, I'd like to stay married. I don't know that my wife would really want to do that. And then, you know, we are looking to do a potential show Mania week. That is something we're in talks about doing. At very least, have our champion defend that title on 1 or 2 shows. We had a great experience. We worked pretty closely with DFW, and we would welcome the opportunity to do that again. And then, I think we could do something in the city. I still think it would be for young families. You know, I think I've been to Logan Square Auditorium. It's awesome. I don't think we could fill it the quite way. I'm just being honest. We don't have the fan base quite yet to fill it like freelance, or maybe some people would come see us, but like it's going to take some time. We're really in our infancy. We're working on, creating content right now. I think our YouTube page slowly is growing. Our socials are growing, and that'll help get the word out. When you have people like Chelsea Green on your show, it brings attention. We're excited about that. She's just been the best to work with. If any promotions out there looking to, who's the best talent to work, she's got to be up there. She's just been incredible. And we're excited to have her and potentially be our champion.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. She would definitely be bragging about that, with her husband, Matt Cardona. They love to collect belts and, make videos about it. But yeah, I think, just seeing her rise to stardom is just amazing. When she was kind of like relatively unknown, she was rising up from Shimmer and Rise and, getting stuff out there. She had the Hot Mess run, and then, kind of the WWE just stifled her career because she just kept getting injured, the same injury. I just feel like that was not meant to happen. Like now she's doing great. She's not injured, she's performing all these shows. She's having a hell of a run. It's like some people just needed to get out of that WWE bubble, and she was one of them.
Yeah, she was just on a tour in Australia with a bunch of wrestlers. I think, listen, I wouldn't say that, I don't know Chelsea and Matt to the extent to know this, but like there's no reason they're not going to get another run there.
Right.
And probably a different run. Matt Cardona is the number one name on the independent scene. Mm-hmm. I would suggest that he is. He's done incredible stuff. He's played his character has just evolved so much, and she's right beside him, and she's no slouch herself, and she should be the champion everywhere she goes. So yeah, I agree. I think they're two incredible talents. We're lucky to have her. We'd love to work with Matt in the future. We're trying to figure out exactly who makes sense for our shows, who we can bring in, who are they going to face, and also what helps us build long term. What brings fans, what do fans want to see, and what can we also provide them? There were a handful of people we contemplated for Billy's first defense for this title, or first defense on our show. She defeated Renee Chanel in Dallas. And, Chelsea was at the top of our list. We're just excited that she was able to make the show.
Yeah, for sure. And I think she just faced Ruby Riott as well in Billy Stark. So
yeah, she's got a crazy summer, and good for her. She earned it. Yeah. There's you look at people, some people get these meteoric rises because of the way they look or whatever. I mean, no one works harder than Billy Starks. The only one who may work harder than Billy Starks is Mouse, her father.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I appreciate you, Rabbi Jeremy Fine, for being on PWE for the first time. Hopefully not the last. Keep coming on, and best of luck to you and your upcoming event. Walk This Way. Check it out at Kings and Convicts Brewery, Highwood, Illinois. And we'll post all the ticket information. If you want to say anything, go ahead. If you want to
tickets we'll have some tickets at the door, but tickets will be on Eventbrite until they're not. And then, just follow us on social media, Second with a 2 instead of an S, Second Wrestling at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And Sean, thanks for having me anytime. We're happy to come and talk wrestling, talk baseball, whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. I'm mostly pro wrestling. So not too much baseball. But hey, I appreciate the show, and hopefully I'll see you there.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Anytime. Take it easy, man.